Hello. So this is going to be slightly different to my weight loss videos and a little bit different to my aeroplane flying videos. Aliens and UFOs. This is something I've been really interested in for at least 40 years. You know, there are so many reports of people seeing things that are genuine. You know, you've got airline pilots who describe things that they've seen in the sky. You've got Navy pilots, Air Force pilots. You got people disappearing around the world, either disappearing forever or disappearing and come back 3 or 4 days later. They were clean shaven when they left, or some that come back an hour later and they've got like 4 days worth of growth. How are things explained? Well, in the last few weeks, unless you've been living under a rock or had your head in the sand, there's been a lot on the TV and other media about alien disclosure. At the National Press Club a few weeks ago, I think about a month ago, there was a big meeting where a lot of people described what they'd worked on, what they've seen, and things have happened to them. But then more recently this week, there's been a Senate committee hearing about what an ex-American Air Force intelligence officer has come across. And there was a Navy pilot, and I think the guy was a pilot, I can't remember who it was. Well, basically, they all described that the technology that they've seen, technology either they've seen themselves, or papers they've read, or images they've seen, or reports they've read. These all describe craft that are not designed on this world, not designed by humans, flown by non-human entities, right? So if you want to learn more about this, I have a couple of books on this topic. This is one I wrote a few years ago, excuse me. This Will Blow Your Socks Off by Simon Clarke. If you search Simon Amazing Clarke on Amazon, you'll get to where my books are. Some of my books, some aren't. But This Will Blow Your Socks Off is the original book I wrote about some of the alien issues, some of the things that have happened, but it also follows my journey through bits and pieces. Or if you want to read the second book in the series, which is This Will Blow Your Socks Off 2. Notice the way I did TOO, because this will blow your socks off as well as. Alright, Simon A. Clarke, Simon Amazing Clarke. If you've not written that down, that's fine. Watch the video again. But there's something that was mentioned last week that blew me away. In the 1970s, there was a treaty put together for the use of nuclear weapons by the various countries. And in it, there were code words to be used in case of an alien attack. So if something's happening and it wasn't you that set them off, you can call up the other people around the world, like the Russians and the Chinese, whoever, and say, that's not us and here's the code word. But what's more important is how many times this has been used. Okay? Right, so some people will say, show me the proof. Show me the proof. Only when I've seen it will I agree that, okay, these things are out there. Right, number one, go and look in the mirror. Because this is not 100% from this planet. We were the same, about the same as gorillas 8 million years ago. We were the same as orangutans 7 million years ago. We were the same as the last common ancestor 6 million years ago. 300,000 years ago, we became this form. Chimpanzees formed only 250,000 years ago. You look at everything else on the planet, nothing has any of the skills or abilities that we do. Yes, we can do this. But also, there's one I've thought about that no one else seems to pick up on. We are the only animal in the world that continuously carries things. If you're in the wilds in Africa and you check out an antelope and you find a stone that's quite sharp for taking the skin off and cutting meat up, you'll keep hold of that and you get some of the skin and there's a twig nearby and you sort of fasten that on. And then you carry it, and you keep carrying that until you lost it or you found something that was better. And the second one is the technology. If you go back to the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, early 1800s, there's not many advances. But then you look at the last century, You know, Roswell was 1947. You look at the technological advances, 57, 67. We started getting transistors. Transistors use very low power inputs, whereas the old valve radios and televisions like we had when I was a child, they use a lot more electricity and produce a lot more heat. The technology we have, the technology you're watching this on now, could not be made if there weren't certain advances. Lasers, Kevlar, computer chips, microchips, these were all found on various alien spacecraft that have crashed and been recovered. And that's been admitted to in America. They have crashed, recovered craft. So go and have a read of those books. This will blow your socks off. This will blow your socks off too, by Simon Amazing Clark. Have a look, and if you've got any questions, get back to me and we'll sort it out. All right, you take care and enjoy, and I'll do another weight loss video in a few days. Thanks ever so much. Bye.